So just a quick video. Some of you asked what goes into the actual drive shaft replacement on the Transit units whenever they have to be replaced. The wheelbase on this one is 148-inch wheelbase, and this is the diesel engine in this. This one is completely destroyed. Let me see here. This one actually destroyed the bolts underneath. You can see how some of the heads was beaten up on this while this guy was on the highway, so luckily he brought it in when he did. I can't even get a socket on some of these because of how messed up they are. Maybe that'll be my thumbnail. Anyhow, the old front part of the drive shaft gets replaced. This is the new updated one, and it comes with a new center support bearing, or the front support bearing I should say, and you get a 4-bolt end instead of a 3-bolt end. Before, it used to have a bushing in the end to center it with a little rubber seal on the end. This is the front part here. I got a ball joint press over there, like a U-joint press that I'm going to use to press this joint out, and then I'll end up putting the new one in. You actually end up getting an entire new yoke assembly that goes on the end of it, and you get new bolts and everything to put everything back up where it goes. Here's the new joint, U-joint they supply with the retainer clips. Here's the front and rear drive shaft 12mm 12-point drive shaft bolts that go in. Here's your center support bearing bolts and stuff, and basically you just go through and replace everything, and it's called the drive shaft permanent fix for the issue that they were having. If you're looking at the campaign for this is the drive shaft coupling campaign, and this is the permanent repair they finally came out with. Early on, I was able to get some of these permanent repairs when it was so bad, to the point where you couldn't reuse anything because the bolts were real jacked up, and a lot of times it would actually screw up. It would bounce back and forth so bad. You see right there where it actually would start to gouge into the yoke coming out of the trans, so they would actually send you a whole entire drive shaft sometimes. But now they've got this permanent repair where you just go in sections, certain ones, other ones you actually replace the whole thing. So just a quick video I'll show you with it installed after I get everything back together. So I just wanted to show you guys a little trick before I get too far ahead of myself. These are a pair of Mac pliers that I got in a cheap kit. It was like a $140 kit. Part number is P301818. I don't use these for anything, really, but I love using them for this recall. When I go to pull U-joint clips out, literally I just take my chisel and I tap them until one side starts to move, and then once it starts to move, I don't even have to have it completely free. I'll grab these weird looking pliers and I'll grab the nipple and I'll compress it, and then I'll spin and pull it right out of there. Even when it's stuck on one side, these have such deep grooves in the angle, it's perfect for getting these things out of here. I'll show you on the next one when it's a little bit more rusted and stuck. Right there. I'll have to see if I can do this with one hand. I only got the one side right there, broke free a little bit. I'm going to see how. So there they are, and then I'll turn, and then they just pop right out. No matter how much rust is in there, these things just really grip the hell out of these and pull it right out of there. It's the angle that it's on. It just fits the U-joint clips perfectly. And now I'll go use the tool to drive all this out of here. Gotta go down more. Not down enough. Okay, it's all done. Time to install it. Okay, everything is finished. It's got the new yoke, the new front drive shaft. Put the drive shaft loop back, and then they give you 2 new 10mm bolts that go up in there to hold it up there. You got to kind of kick it in on an angle. New 13mm support brackets for that. You can see all the new U-joint is installed on the rear part, and then new 13mm bolts for the rear support, and then you get a balance weight that goes through the rear end they want you to add on at the end, and then you get all new 12.12 millimeter drive shaft bolts. The tools that I use for this job are, hold on guys, go on. This is my impact, my chisel. They use the chisel to set the actual 12-point nut. It's a 34 millimeter at the new output shaft yoke, and it's got 2 indentations that you knock in to secure it. If it starts to come loose, it'll grab those indentations, so I use that to set those indentations. I use these pliers to pull the actual U-joint clips out. Big hammer. If I end up nicking the inside of any of the U-joint tabs where they go, right, like in this area here on the new one, I'll clean up anything here. I'll take any little burrs out with this little chisel. I'll just real finely, carefully take any burrs out that may affect me pushing the caps in for a U-joint. I got a 12 millimeter impact socket, a 10 millimeter impact socket, a 13 millimeter impact socket, a half-inch drive swivel, a couple small half-inch drive extensions. I bring an 18 millimeter socket, 21 millimeter socket, 21 millimeter wrench, my Milwaukee small 1/4 inch drive with a brush so I can clean all the rust and stuff out of the U-joint, out of the U-joint cap spot. And then this is a 7/8 socket for the master ball joint kit that I use to press in and press out the U-joint. You can find other ones, OTC and stuff like that, on Amazon or whatever for a couple $100. I always just grab Jared's because he does all the import stuff, so he absolutely loves that thing. I don't do enough stuff to justify paying $750 for this. So I know if I have a drive shaft job coming in, we're all real friendly with each other because we use each other's shit all the time. I'll just tell them, hey, can you leave your master ball joint set out for me? Eventually I'm going to suck it up and buy one, but as of right now, I don't really have that much of a need for it. It's every once in a while I'll do one of these drive shafts. I'm just thankful to be able to do something to get it completed, because I've got all this like really wild electrical stuff. Like, his car's been in here several times. It's back again. It's got this really wild monitoring code for the RCM circuit that won't go away, and Ford doesn't know how to help me, so they're actually going to probably send an engineer out and help me look through this thing, because in order to replace the harness, there's a part of the pinpoint test that's missing, and they've already acknowledged it. And I'm just glad to get something where I can actually do the work, clock it, get the hours booked, and get it out. This had a couple reprograms, a drive shaft recall. There was a leak at one of the hoses in the front. All I had to do was just resituate one of the hoses. Let's see, where was it at? There's a boost leak right here at this connection. Under load, you can hear boost coming out, so all I did was just slide this tube back up further. Didn't charge a guy anything for it, and just tighten everything back down, and the boost leak stopped. So anyway, that's this recall. Thanks guys, I appreciate you.